So today we're going to learn palmistry. We're going to cover the Mercury finger right here, the pinky. So we're going to just sort of talk about this guy right here. Okay, so the thing about the pinky is, like, some people say it's the antenna. So you can, like, you know, antenna to pick up vibes, things like that. So if you have a low set Mercury finger, it means you could have, like, learning disabilities, you could have late bloomer in life, could choose different partners, maybe you sort of, like, are in the background a bit sometimes with your choices, maybe you're not mainstream. When it's a small Mercury finger, these people can't handle emotion so much. Maybe they, like, explode or have little bursts of energy that happen, and perhaps, like, this is, like, it's funny because this is, like, people say, like, if you have a big Mercury finger, you're good at numbers, so that comes up. Or people could say, you know, you're a banker, or Mercury people, I feel like they're very busy and outgoing if they have a big one. Like, they just don't slow down. They're sort of like, yeah, they are the messenger, sort of with the Greek god. I do feel like crooked pinky can mean a sense of someone that betrays others. Like, they're always trying to be clever. Even when you meet someone that sort of sticks their pinky out, and then all their fingers are together, but they stick this pinky out, that person you cannot trust, because they think they can outwit you or out-clever you. That's a sign of, like, a thief or betrayal. So just, like, even noticing how people rest their hands is a big factor of how the mind is thinking, how the mind is processing. So it's really rewarding, just knowing how outgoing people are. You know what I mean? Like, this could be, like, sort of the accountability finger, let's say. The antenna, the accountability finger. You know, if they feel like, you know, how well they absorb energy. And, like it says, Apollo cells and Mercury people sort of, like, you know, they harbor, they bank, they invest, they buy, they think about assets. Probably very monogamous people with big Mercury fingers. A thick Mercury finger could mean you overwork. Maybe you're always driving. Maybe you want to be accountable for too much. Maybe, depending the lines that show up later or on your face, could mean you overwork. So it's good to be noticing that as well. It's good to just sort of stare at people's palms when you're doing palm readings, just sort of absorb the energy. We've got to get into a trance with every palm. So gnosis is, like, almost like being in a deep state of trance. It's good to get into before your readings and work with the law of vibration. It's very good to tap into this. So I like to do chanting, Buddhist chants, things like that before I read people, just to, like, you know, spike up my antenna. And sort of compassionate exercises are really good for because you're going to see good things the happier you are. You know what I mean? You don't want to read people when you're not compassionate. It's all about being compassionate and the vibrational, you know? It's like you can go up this vibrational ladder, and at the top you can commute with spirits and, like, feel like, you know, it's like you see everything up here. So that's where you want to be mentally. I also do breathing exercises, ice baths, saunas, just to make it up to here for the clients I read. It's really useful. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Apollo fingers. So this finger, and this mound, like these mounds, work with these fingers. A big Apollo finger can be an actor, you know, can be like someone extremely outgoing, like The Rock or Brad Pitt. A lot of actors usually have stars here, so that comes up as well. If it's bent in a little, maybe they're more reliant on, you know, people. They could be more anxious people when their Apollo finger's bent in. If it's bent outward, could be like a little like afraid of the masses a little bit. When it comes to Apollo, it's sort of measures testosterone. Proletarians, we'll call them. Proletarians, they like to have fun, like good testosterone. They sell. They can really talk. Really charismatic people, maybe very expressive with music, acting, life experiences. They can sort of, you know, depending on their love line, they can be sort of promiscuous, or maybe they get, you know, maybe they got to test or taste everything out there. So that comes up around the beautiful proletarians. If they have, like, you know, if it's a little bigger than this line, maybe they had self-esteem issues. Maybe they had some family troubles. So they don't have like that guaranteed confidence that ones with bigger Apollitarian fingers or you know, sun fingers have. So they could be maybe, you know, in the shadow of other things. Okay, like this one's been nicknamed like the wall finger, you know, but I see this as like the institution finger almost. So this is, you know, the Saturn finger. So that comes up with this finger. It's all about being like, if you have a big one, it's like you're into administration stuff or office stuff, or you can do like awesome desk job work, judging how your fingertips are. It also means like you just want to fit in. You're part of the institution, you know. If this finger and this finger are the same size and you have this big one, it's like you really fit in. You can make everyone happy. It's like you're part of the system. It's a good thing to have, because like everything's a system these days. And it's like, you know, could even be like business ethic. But like in terms of people that have a creative gift, they sometimes have like a bent Saturn line. So you can see their finger bend out a little. And that can show like, you know, they see things from a different perspective. So that comes up, like, and maybe they can really get the job done, or maybe they've worked themselves out of the trenches. So that comes up in a nice crooked Saturn finger. And I mean, like, usually when like you see lots of lines here, as long as it's like nice lines like this or something, as long as it's not grilled where the energy's muted, or these lines right here could be bad on that mound, and every mound. So if you see a lot of grills, it's not so good. It's not something you want to have on your hand. It's bad. These the best one though is sort of just one line. You know, that's powerful. It's like you're growing. So lines in your palm that go this way can mean like you were stuck, or you had to really make do with what you had. Lines like this show that you've grown. You've grown through things. You had a lot of lessons. And like busier the palm, the crazier the mind. So it could be an anxious mind if, you know, their hands are, let's say, like really busy. Like when you see people with electric shock therapy, they're like, you know, it's like their, you know, they've been through hell. So that comes up as well. Anyways, we'll keep on going here. So last but not least is, well, second last is the Jupiter finger right here. So we have, okay, so we put the sign of Jupiter right here. And so this is a sense of like, you know, you see that picture when like God touches Adam's finger in that famous picture. So this is a big spiritual finger. This is like, you know, Saturn is like authority, where Jupiter is a sense of connected to God, spiritualism. So people with big Saturn fingers can be really spiritual. The funny thing is, like, after World War II Germany, all these people had huge Saturn fingers. So it's a sign of aggression and like dominating your territory. People with like big Saturn fingers usually had to like mature really fast. Maybe didn't have much time being a kid. So it's interesting to see people with big Jupiter fingers. And this is like the estrogen in the body. So like maybe you had to grow up really nurturing really quick for people in your life. So in terms of, you know, a nice Jupiter finger, it's good to have a, you know, it doesn't have, like, whether you're a Jupiterian or a Politarian, I feel like Jupiterians will say things, will make your life hard. Maybe they're sticklers for, like, the big picture. But the thing about, let's say, small hands see the big picture, where big hands see this finer details. You always got the person with the big hands, like, working on you as a dental hygienist or like a watchmaker, where like the small hands are like cleaning, great for paperwork, making things, building things, organizing things. So that comes up with like hand sizes. The thing about the Jupiter finger, if you have like a nice square here, we call this a teacher's square. Chances are you're really good at teaching people, or you are a teacher. I've seen a lot of teachers have this mark. So it's sort of where it helps decide where your client or your person you're reading goes. Okay, so when it comes to the, let's say, the lifeline, you know, it comes down here. If this is connected, chances are they grew up with family. You know, they grew up around, you know, the headline we have here and the lifeline here. They, you know, things will, you know, be around family. If it's really messy, like lines like that, they had a hard childhood. They had a really rough childhood. So that comes up. And if we see lots of triangles in here, that means like they might have spent a lot of time bored or in isolation. So that comes up as well. They say like whenever you have triangles on the lifeline, can be a sign of money as well. So that comes up. It's always interesting to see if the lifeline comes off, like the headline comes off the lifeline. Let's say like we'll make dashes. If it's like here and these don't connect, that means like it's an old soul or dragon lady in Chinese palmistry. These people are very independent, can be self-centered depending on their other aspects of their palm, maybe very competitive. You see a lot of sex workers with these lines as well, just old school, old soul sort of karma, or being very fit, or you know, being there for people solidly, I would say, as well, or themselves, is nice to see. We're going to go through the destiny line. We'll just draw it up here. So if the destiny line comes from the Mount of Luna, so we've got like the moon mound here. It can be artistic. It's going to be something that comes not from family. So it's nice to see the destiny line come up. If it's like got a bunch of like blocks in it, it's about schooling. Usually this right here is the age of 35, and we start down here, let's say like 20, 25 right around here, and we see if the destiny line comes from, let's say, the lifeline, it means we have started our life with our family. You know, did something that the family provided us with. Maybe this is like a family relationship, things like if the lifeline splits, like let's say the lifeline splits, there's a chance for migration or something like that. Like, so that's really cool too. You could be an immigrant with this line, so that comes up as well. So if your destiny line comes from here, you can do like a very good psychic work or psychic things. Usually there'll be like a psychic triangle in here, so that comes up as well, which is very powerful. Good lines to have is sort of like the Phoenix Eye. It shows me protection. Usually people have good wealth and protection as well. Triangles are good for prosperity according to East Indian palmistry, so that comes up as well. It's good to see how the lines shoot up into the palm. I would say tridents are good luck in the destiny line, so that comes up as well. Right here we have the family ring, so if it's like full of this, it's not good, or if it's like goes missing, hardship around family, so that comes up as well. And if we have like the love line comes from here and like goes up there, they're a lover. They're gonna go out of their way for people. They want to like really help people. They want strong human connection. They want to give more than they take. Maybe they're in love with love too, if they have a big Apollo finger, so that comes up as well. I mean, like how I check if someone has addictive personality is I see if this loops down, like they have some trauma in their headline, and then I see a small pinky. I already know that this chances are this person has addictive personality with this line, so that comes up as well. I do see like if there's like a trident on the Apollo line, it could be like, and the destiny line comes up with this, it could be like the person has multiple sources of income, or even if the destiny line doesn't come there, it's just or like a few lines, but very powerful is like one line. It's like a shooting antenna in your brain for this, so that's really cool to see. The thing about the thumb, if they walk with their thumb out, they're very confident, right? Most people that die or like fetuses in the womb, they put their hands like this. So this is like, in the womb, or like someone dying or going through pain, they put their hand like that. So that's like little tidbits there. So the bigger the thumb, the less you can dominate them. So that comes up the more dominant these people are going to be with a big thumb. So like, I mean, like high set thumb makes anxious people. Low set thumb, maybe they're deep and philosophical. Also, when you see knuckles on people, these are the hand, like the showing like introspection. Like people with knuckles are very introspective people, philosophical people, and it's like retrospection, introspection are stored there. So that's really interesting to sort of like, see the knuckles on people. So that comes up. So here we have the Mount of Venus. If there's busy lines in here, it means overindulgence too, or worry. So that comes up. If there's a triangle, could mean love affair, or maybe they're not the best lovers. In terms of like grill, once again, this isn't a good thing. If it breaks through the lifeline, that can be bad news. Like that can be overindulging, or major life events happen. There's also this guardian angel line. So this is like a second lifeline, they call it. That's like when your parents divorced and you could bounce between two homes or something, or you feel like you have two places of comfort, sort of comes up. It's a pretty powerful, let's say, thing for someone. I don't have it. And the deeper, like, you see the soldier lifelines like mine, where they're like deep and like hardworking sort of lifeline. So that comes up. That's like a little sign for people to see, like jobs where people work with their hands.